It's 2019, it's a brand new year, and hopefully it'll be better than last year. So, let's begin Season 6 right with some webcomics.
Tricky people, tricky people.
Wait, Yellow Dyno? That's not UberQuest. What's even... Note. Dear Isaac, this video comes first. Too funny not to share. Signed, me. Oh right, I forgot I'd make this the first video of the year after being shown the over-the-top anti-pedo PSA. Well, at least I have all the other stuff recorded, so I can just breeze on through.
Tricky people, they look like you and me. Tricky people, tricky people are bit way.
So here's the weirdest PSA video I've seen yet. After dealing with a crummy mascot cat, Winnie the Pooh, and Lesser Invader Zim knockoff, we have Yellow Dyno, Tricky People, by Yellow Dyno Incorporated, which came about in either 1994 or even 1987 according to their website. While I can only guess and say this was either co-produced or distributed by Nest Entertainment. Yes, they are indeed the same Nest Entertainment known for their animated Christian films, every Swan Princess film ever made, and I mean every film ever made, and even The King and I. Yellow Dyno Inc. does at least have a functioning website still, though their copyright might have ended in 2004, yet it's still around and still better designed than Cool Cat's website. Now, you are not prepared for what is coming. I know we had a bad mascot character doing less than meaningful things, but the lengths this PSA mascot goes is so bizarre, it's amazing. So let's take a look at Yellow Dyno, Tricky People.
Hi there! Yellow Dyno here!
Hi! I'm frightened of you!
You're about to see a show for parents and children about tricky people!
Tricky People, huh? Well, I have been meaning to deal with that pesky Boo in Mario Tennis Aces. Nah, that's just the code phrase for stranger danger. Both he and the founder of Yellow Dyno Inc., Jan Wagner, tell the audience about the kind of film we're about to see, how it might be hard to think about, but it's important for the sake of children's safety.
The story you are about to see is about a little girl who falls prey to a tricky person called Reginald Charming. In this startling and accurate portrayal of tricky people, you will learn how to recognize the behavior that means danger.
Well, if past experience has shown me, it's going to involve very obvious villains who wouldn't ever act like they do in public. So at first, the office of Reginald Charming, how charming, doesn't seem too bad. I mean, he seems proud about his sports accomplishments and, oh dear. Vending machines. Like for strangers offering candy purposes. And in case we forgot this guy is a pedophile, here's a picture of underage children and a website called Kid Corral. I'd joke about the other things in his room and how the soundtrack is trying to make it sound so innocent and whimsical, but website searching is very much a real thing, as he or anyone else could compile such lists. So right off the bat, we have a victim of this guy's actions, Carmen, demanding he give her the photos he's taken of her.
Hey, what are you doing?
Who are you going to show them to?
Let go of me, I'm gonna tell!
So tell. You watch the news. You see what happens to little girls who tell.
What would you think if these pictures ended up at your school?
Damn, they actually went there. Surprisingly enough, this still holds true today where in a society dominated by males, they would have more credibility and power than those younger than them, especially women. The victim wouldn't have any way to stop him because there's a very strong possibility they won't be taken seriously or get blamed for doing this in the first place. This is seriously some potent stuff that would be worth talking about. I mean, besides the cartoonish behavior that Charming and Wendell here have, it still comes close to how it would be in real life. And now that we're about to see how they get their victims, we might actually learn something about what comes of stranger danger. Maybe see some consequences? So now we get introduced to the main victim of this little film, Lyric. Like most children, she's rather innocent for her age, and she's fawned over by the sight of a cute little puppy in a shopping mall, and after convincing her mother to let her play with it for a bit while she goes elsewhere, this is when Charming strikes.
Sure seems to like you. Is that the one you like?
Yeah.
My name is Reginald Charming. I put this show on here today.
Cool.
Didn't I just miss your mom?
Yeah. Do you know her?
Oh, yeah, I've known her for quite some time. I met you when you were little.
I've seen you naked.
You're, it's Lyric.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to see you again, Lyric.
You too.
Holy crap! An actual trick with an actual explanation! This guy has eyes and ears and can get information on any child and use their nativity to make them believe they already know each other. This would definitely teach kids to never stray from parents and not engage with adults you aren't actually familiar with. And he even tries taking her away to show her kittens before her mom comes back. This program might actually be doing something right after all.
Hey, Charmin! So, what lure are you using on the little kids today, huh?
And the mood has shifted. So yeah, Yellow Dyno is part of the actual plot. He's not just some mascot for the company that made him. He is a real character in this fictional reality where a mascot-looking guy is seen as a real creature. Again, if you want to do something like that, just go animated so it doesn't confuse kids into thinking that costumed people are real. Still, the performances in this are kinda good.
Tricky, 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 tricky people. Everywhere you look, it could be another tricky person.
Oh, little one, I love. Where's the Yellow Dyno?
Hey there, Edna. You know, Edna, we gotta teach these kids what to look out for.
I'm watching for him, Yellow Dyno.
Yeah, well, the trick is trying to figure out who the tricky people are.
Though I am a little confused as to how old this character is. Right now, I can only assume he's an adult who is known by the parents of the kids we'll be following, but as we'll see later, it might not be the case.
What are you guys talking about?
Tricky people, tricky people. They look like you and me.
Oh, and we gotta have song sequences. Can't be too dark in this middle school musical show. At least they tell us things we've heard in Stranger Danger's PSAs before.
Once his puppy found. What do you do when he asks for help and no one is around? What if a guy shows you a badge and he says he's a cop? Now what do you do? How do you check? Before you go, you stop.
That's right.
You call 911 or you call O. That's how you begin.
Yes, like they'll seriously wait for you to call 911. Honestly though, the cop one will always be problematic for many other reasons. But nice try though. Folks, this is a shopping mall, not a dance floor. If you want to dance, the disco hall is across the street.
Oh, tricky, they can't fool me 'cause I'm too smart. Woo!
Hey, all right. That was rocking.
Wait, that was just rehearsal? I guess because they mentioned the mall incident. Whatever. Lyric is allowed to stay with her friends and gets offered to join the band.
No, my voice really isn't very strong.
No problem. Let me hear you say, yeah.
Yeah!
Over on this side, you guys, let me hear you say, yeah.
Yeah!
All right.
What's that? This big Yellow Dyno here taught us.
We use it to open every show.
And it gets everyone on their feet.
It teaches them what to do if they're ever in trouble. And it rocks.
Yeah! You really do that? Sure! It's a lot of fun.
Try it.
I think I'd be too embarrassed to yell, even if I thought I was in trouble.
No more embarrassing than standing next to a yellow dinosaur mascot whose mouth won't close. Amazing how well they can play despite it probably not sounding like they are actually playing.
Stomping, tail stomping, safety making a soul. Brothers and sisters, give it up for Yellow Dyno! Yeah!
Everybody praise Dino Jesus!
I need you to take a deep breath. I need you to take it all the way down to your belly button, down to your sneakers, and say, yeah, yeah, yeah. Knock me down and steal my shoes. Let's do it one more time. Yeah.
Still better than the Cool Cats rap.
Yo, my name is Cool Cat and I'm the coolest cat there is. I love to play and have fun and I'm always on the run.
Lyric does question the idea of tricky people, and they do try to explain that you could figure them out based on your gut feelings, the person's actions, and how they convey their words. They also make note of how this doesn't apply to every adult, so it's not like you should be afraid of everyone, and even bring up that one explanation to why this happens is because of them being dealt with tricky people before. Of course, that's just one reason, and plenty of people have their own reasons to hurt children. Now for something that's meta weird. Wendell spies on them, and after Yellow Dyno leaves, he starts to interact with the kids. Listen to how this guy sounds.
I have a lot of trash.
What are you doing here?
Nothing. I just, wanted to come over and check.
Hey! Don't touch anything.
Hey, little dude, I'm just trying to help you out.
Doesn't he sound like Yellow Dyno? That's because it is. Greg Miller, who plays Wendell, also provides the voice of Yellow Dyno. If it weren't for the fact that both these characters show up in the same location sometimes, on screen together, I'd probably believe Yellow Dyno was a double agent. So he explains that Charming runs an entertainment company and says he can get the kids in to see him.
Hey, man, he's president of Monument Entertainment.
Yeah!
And he runs the Rave Tech record label. He's the biggest record producer and concert promoter around.
Right.
Charming could book us some big gigs and maybe even get us a recording contract.
Can't tell if that's just the kids being overly excited or having trouble remembering their lines. Either way, Carmen thinks this is a bad idea for obvious reasons. But the others are way too excited to ask why, because the opportunity to get into stardom is way too much for their pea-sized brains. You'd think this obvious-looking high school student would get it.
Boss! Okay, now I know I've always screwed up and everything's my fault, like when your soda's warm, but that's my fault too.
And like I said, even when the subject matter is serious, the villains are very cartoonish.
I'm going to go get the film while the kids are in makeup and wardrobe, and you don't touch anything. Wendell, don't touch anything.
Wah. I also have to question how much time it took to get the child actors to want to cooperate in wearing these skimpy clothing you see. Obviously, the adults are professionals, the parents of the kids are aware of what this video is about, and the intention of the PSA, but it's still rather fascinating that they would really go through with all this. Now, I know this PSA has been pushing boundaries a bit, but I am going to urge that if you're feeling uncomfortable about what will happen in these next few scenes, that you skip to here, because things are about to get a little graphic, and if it somehow reminds you of any trauma you've had, that you not watch what's about to happen. So Carmen starts to remember her experience with Charming, and what eventually made her leave him.
You're a very talented young lady. And so beautiful. So beautiful. You know what I'd like to do now?
What?
I would like to take some special pictures.
Okay.
Now, I don't do these for just anybody.
Oh, thanks.
What I need you to do for me is put your head back here.
Yes, they are really doing this. While we don't see the actual position, it is followed by a song that I imagine is her regretting that she couldn't tell her parents what happened, and because of it, a child is gone. And from the photos of what may have been her life before this, This is meant to say her innocence is gone.
Carmen? What's wrong?
I'm not a little girl anymore.
I don't understand.
Charming.
It's not your fault. Hey, did you hear me? It's not your fault, no. We've got to tell your mom and dad. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
Now, if nothing else, I guess the reason they have mascot characters is so they have that one person a multitude of kids would recognize and trust, because in a situation like this, when they have a lot of tact and restraint, they do come off as understanding individuals. We don't see his face. We don't see him yell. He's calm, quiet, and receptive. While this could be done without the costume, the message is still there, that no matter how much it hurts, there's still people who will believe you and be there to shoulder the pain. It's yet another reason why Yellow Dyno, no matter what crazy thing happens next, is still a more effective role model than Cool Cat. And we haven't even seen the other thing that may come off as painful. So after a photo shoot, Charming, who at this point I'm just gonna call Kamoshida, asks for Lyric to stay a bit longer for special photos. When the kids return to the house where Yellow Dyno and Carmen are...
Where'd you guys go?
Charming's photo studio.
What?
Hey man, it was pretty cool. You should have seen it.
You did what? Oh, no, guys. Hey, wait a minute, guys. Wait a minute! Where is Lyric?
We left her at Charming's.
Oh,
You
no.
did what? He said he's gonna give her a ride home.
You left her alone with him?
After everything we talked about?
What is the matter?
Yeah.
Okay, remember when I was telling you about tricky people?
Yeah?
Charming is a tricky person.
What?
What kind of reaction is that? Hey guys, that person you met was a bad guy the whole time. What? And now for that special photo pose.
Put your head back here for me, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna change the film. I'll be right back.
Okay.
I still have questions as to how they got everyone to comply with this, even for acting purposes. Then it gets even more real.
I'm not lying, though. I have to be...
Don't lie to me.
I'm really not lying, because if I'm not in the project...
Don't you lie to me! I don't have time to mess around with a little girl who won't do what she's told. Now you sit down. Put your head back there, Lyric. Now! You see what you've made me do? You've made me get angry at you. I don't want to be angry with you.
Even if this is just an example of what a pedophile would do, the way he acted and how she's responding to this is still realistic and makes for a good talk with parents on why some adults would do such horrible things. If it weren't for the fact that this video involves a mascot character serving as like the safe adult that everyone knows and loves, this would probably be the most ballsy, most effective PSA I've seen yet. Because we are actually seeing what would have been a major consequence to not utilizing safety practices against bad people. Naturally, she tries to run when his back is turned, and Yellow Dyno shows up to save the day.
Are you okay? Did he...
Carmen.
I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
Take Lyric home.
I'm gonna go with Dirty Harry on his ass!
Anything? Get out of my office!
I want Carmen's pictures.
What are you talking
The pictures!
I don't know what Carmen told you, but there are no pictures.
Give me the combination, Charming.
Figure it out. You big stupid lizard. You think you're so smart. Well, you can't watch them all the time. Nobody can. Don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
You're finished. I told you, you weren't ready for Yellow Dyno, and now you know why! And in another instance of mood whiplash, we have the concert with Carmen and Lyric singing together. Also, Kamoshida and Wendell aren't in jail yet because...
I said no, and then I moved at least 3 steps back. And my heart was a bell, so I ran to tell, and I sang my song like that.
You didn't do any of those things, mainly because you were confined to a couch. Well, luckily, before he can coerce these mothers into letting their children be part of his thing, the cops do show up at last to arrest him. Wendell, I guess, doesn't get jail time even though he was an accomplice. And of course, it ends with Yellow Dyno saying,
Forget safety rules!
So this was certainly a treat, in that there exists a PSA that comes close to being legit and getting its message across. Whether or not you see it past all the crazy crap they pull, though, is rather subjective, because everyone is going to remember the absurdity over the message. You can really tell they were trying in setting up examples for what may happen in the case of creepy adults and their tactics to get children, but it's completely overshadowed by the out-of-place animal mascot character who looks like he came out of Barney. It's another reason why this might have worked better animated, since you can pretty much do whatever you want with your made-up world. Either way, you'll still have people overlooking the moral of the video in favor of making fun of scenes like this.
I am a man!
I will at least say that compared to Cool Cat, this one at least has more effort put into it, and like Corny, they actually keep focus on the subject at hand without diverging into other random topics. It still has the flaws mentioned before, but if I had to choose between Yellow Dyno and Cool Cat, Yellow Dyno would be my pick any day, as he'd kick all kinds of ass. I don't think I could recommend this though because of some of the more graphic imagery used to make their point, but maybe it won't matter to you and we'll find some good riffing material out of it. More or less, your mileage will definitely vary. I'm the Media Hunter. Medias may prey, and reviewing them my way.
Tricky people, they look like you and me. Tricky people, tricky people are bent where you can't see. Woo! What if you see a guy in town who wants his puppy found?
Read his rights.
You have the right to
Hey,
remain silent.
ladies,
Anything you say
can I
can
get
and
a
will be used against you in court of law. You have the right to have me treated prisoner.
I'll pick you up then.
Sheesh, what a total creep. Good thing we'll never see him ever again.